Welcome to a fun Friday with Enjoying Your Blended Family. You are not here by accident. We know it is by purpose and design that you are here to hear some fun.
Yes, having some fun in your family. I mean, that's like number one priority in my book.
It is, and so much we can lose that intentionality in our families from the day-to-day grind. So this is just a moment. This is a podcast right now on Fun Friday to help us be intentional, to help encourage us to continue doing that. We always try to do that in our family, and these are just fun reminders of that. So stay tuned. We have a great episode. There's a little fun with some blind tasting. So yes, I am talking about a blindfold, and I am talking about some different tasting items that you can have.
Why would we even do that?
We're gonna divulge that one momentarily.
This Fun Friday blind taste test came about because of our Adventure Challenge book. So Adventure Challenge being the book, if you've never heard of it, it's a hardbound book. You scratch off these dates. You don't know what they're going to be until you scratch it off like a lottery ticket, and it reveals what you're going to do. So ours was a blind taste test, which to me didn't seem too weird because of the fact that the stuff we've done with like youth in the past, like tasting weird stuff, or at least that's where my mind went automatically, like eating gross food.
All right, I gotta share this story real quick, and then we'll dive into it, because we're gonna talk about the blind taste, how you can use blindfolds in foods, and how you can make this a date for you and your spouse, or you could do this with your kids. It could be really fun, including the whole family with us, and just having this fun date night. It hardly costs anything to do it.
Yeah, really, it can cost nothing. Or you can go out and spend
You can find things within your home, or you can be intentional. And we'll talk about what we did and how we kind of one-up this and our process through it. But yeah, thinking about the youth, and if you think back to your teenage days, how crazy and dumb we can be and just the things that we do. Well, we were youth pastors at a church for a season, and there were really, this even took back before.
Okay, I was wondering. I was like, are you telling the story about the?
Yeah, before we were even youth pastors, we were youth leaders for like almost a decade, and just back there with teenagers having fun, and we'd go on retreats.
Okay, yeah, this is the winter retreat.
This one winter retreat.
This is like the story that goes down in the books that we will tell on our last breaths.
So I got to share this because this is fun. Maybe you can do this with your family or a group of your teenagers if you have those or whatever. But we were at a camp, and we decided that we were doing this challenge with our youth group, and what we did was we split up into teams, and throughout the whole camp experience we created names for our group, we created flags, chants, all the fun stuff, and we would come together and do different activities throughout our time there. Well, one activity was this nasty tasting thing. Like, okay, let me paint this picture. So in a blender, us as leaders, now I know this, if you haven't eaten, I'm sorry, but we would take anchovies, we would take sardines, we would take oysters in a can, we would mix all that, we would put spinach, we would put corn in there because you had to have a little chunkiness, and we would put clams, and I mean just all different types of whenever we got done blending it, it looked like a green concoction that ran you out of a room. Ugh, it was so bad. Rancid. We actually mixed this in a room, and we should have done it outside actually, because it was nasty. Even after, like, days after, we would walk back into that room, and it would just have that essence. It was so gross.
Well, we've learned the hard way not to use your actual blender.
Yeah,
you buy a $20 blender to do this.
And throw it away, because that's how bad it is. You don't want to clean up after this. But we took that, and all groups would have their station to where you had 2 cups on the table, one on opposite ends. Well, the 1 cup closest to the group would be full of this nasty concoction along with a straw. And your goal was to suck it up with your mouth as much as you could hold, run it to the other side, spit it through the straw into the other cup, and then pass it to your partner. And we had groups of maybe 10 or more. So it would run through all 10, and then you'd cycle back around as the time allowed. But what you would do is once you said go, all teams were running after this. And that's what they were doing. They were passing back and forth, but the other cup on the empty cup on the other side, you had to fill it up to a certain level before you were the winner. And at the end of all these games, we'd get points and everything. So at the end of this one, you had your winners and everybody was grossed out. And
well, first and real quick, just a visual. Most normal people would suck up just enough before it got to your mouth. Like if it touched the little piece of your mouth, you knew it, and you were only taking the size of the straw liquid in there. But some people that really wanted to win were sucking it all the way, like cheeks full.
All right, so you're getting saliva, you're getting
and then spitting that back out into the cup.
Probably day-old breakfast in their teeth stuff.
Oh, crap.
Move
on with the story so that we can get to the date.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So at the end of this, you have your winners and everything. Well, in a couple of our groups, they started cheering out. They were like, "Can we get more points if someone drinks it?" So they're talking about drinking the empty cup that has now been through other people's mouth that was filled up. Just nasty painting that picture. And some of the leaders writing the points were like, "I don't know." And so they started chugging that concoction. Each of the teams, someone had started chanting my name. One of the leaders had started chanting my name because we were leaders within our groups, and I took one for the team and I drank that nastiest thing I've ever done in my whole life. I chugged it, and I wanted to throw up after that for like many hours and could not. That's how nasty it was. It's like it was
and if you know Randall,
I don't do that. I'm like not a germaphobe, but I'm very cautious.
He won't even eat out of a bowl that has chips in it at a gathering because he knows kids' hands have been in it and that they also pick their nose or touch other stuff. So he will pass on the chips, pass on anything that has community touching.
But you get me into a group full of people chanting my name, and
you can basically get him to do anything you want if he chants his name. But,
so, anyways, just sharing that fun story of a tasting. Maybe y'all could do something like that with just your kids and stuff. Who knows? That's fun. But getting back to the adventure challenge.
But that's the mindset that I had, but I tried to dial it back. Okay, so you're supposed to go out. You can either use stuff you have in your house. So you go just through your pantry or fridge.
Well, first let me set the scene. So the adventure challenge, right? We kind of set the scene. Well, we kind of set the scene, but what we did was we scratched it off. Okay, and we're sharing this with you. For one, we love the adventure challenge. And that is something that we are affiliates with. We will provide you the link to where you can get 10% off. It's a great gift idea because most of these books have over 50 dates on there that are unknown. You and your spouse, or you and your friends, you and your family, y'all scratch them off together, and then it's like, oh, what are we going to do? So it's kind of one of those. And so what we did was we scratched this one off because we had the couples edition. And so we scratched this one off, and it said that we're doing a blind tasting challenge that each one of us has to get 5 items. So we have to get 5 items. We can either get it from the house or we can go to the store. It's better if the other person doesn't know what you're grabbing. And then you put a blindfold on one at a time, and then you give those items to the partner, and whoever guesses what that item is the most out of the 5, whoever gets out of the 5 the most right, then they win. So that was kind of what we scratched off. We're like, all right. So this took us quite a few weeks after we scratched it, that we finally were able to get to that date. Like, we've done other things before, but we knew we scratched it off, and we're like, okay, so we're putting this on the calendar and making that happen. So now you're looking for the items.
Okay, so, and this was before maybe a week before, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, when we were first originally trying to put it on the schedule, but it wasn't working out. But so I went and I had youth mentality of gross stuff at first. And then I'm like, no, it's date night. So, I don't really want it to lead into him disgusting throwing up after it. So I thought this brilliant idea. Well, okay. And I have a friend that she keeps the Gerber baby Vienna sausages in her purse. This was a weird fact that we found out about her the week before. And so I thought, I'm going to get those and I'm going to make a whole meal around it. I'm going to get turkey flavored ones and I'm going to do a whole Thanksgiving spread for him. But
because this is right around Thanksgiving time.
Yes, because we were doing the date maybe the week before Thanksgiving or whatever. And it was going to, anyways. So I go and I start looking. Well, I got on the baby food aisle and I was like, well, I'll just get all baby foods because baby foods taste like these things, but at the same time, they don't taste like, like it's bad, but not bad. We feed it to our babies. It's not going to be horrible.
Whose taste buds aren't developed yet.
But I didn't know that. Fun fact. But I also wanted something that I could keep like hidden until the date, so it couldn't be like refrigerated stuff. So I'm just saying, I picked out items like green beans and sweet potatoes, and I did get like a pumpkin pie filling like from the can of pumpkin, but we ended up using that, so I had to do an alternative, which I thought was a good alternative, that he was going to love it. I did vanilla extract. That was the one he was like gagging at the most.
Yeah. So we're sitting down doing this, right? And I get blindfolded, and I start getting this taste. Like the first one was like applesauce is what I thought it was. I'm like, okay, this is applesauce, and then she's like, well, what else? And I'm like, well, okay, well, it's like apples. I'm tasting cinnamon. She's like, well, what else? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, that's all I'm tasting is apple, and so this is like applesauce. And so then, we go to the next one. I'm just like, ooh, that's bad. Ugh. And she's like, what, really? And I can't really make out a flavor. It just tastes like mush, kind of like the applesauce, but without the sweet apple and cinnamon taste. And then she goes to the next one, and that's like mush. And I'm like, did you get all baby food? I'm like, this is nasty. This is like gross. This is terrible. And she's like, what? Really? And
I thought I was doing such a good job.
And then she's like, okay, well, I'm going to call an audible. I'm going to try this one. This one's a little more liquidy.
Because I couldn't find the Gerber weenies. I couldn't find them. So I ended up getting baby food turkey. And I smelled it. And I was like, oh, he's going to really be mad at me.
This was after 3 of the baby sauce
If he didn't like sweet potato baby food, he's definitely not going to like turkey baby food.
So she calls this audible. And then she puts this like liquid into my mouth. And it is so bitter. Like, I can't eat. I'm like sticking my tongue out going, it was
I should have gone with the cinnamon.
It was nasty.
Option.
But then the last one, she goes, well, try this one. This one's more of a licking. And so I'm like, okay. And so I started licking it. I'm like, oh, that's really nice. That's a candy cane.
Yeah, because that was too easy. If I would have done all of them like that would have been like so easy to guess. I thought we were challenging each other here.
But I think what we found out, or what I found out is, I just don't like baby food. Baby food is just nasty. And, maybe, and I was telling her at the fact, I'm like, that's such a mother thing to do.
and in my mind, we were both going to end up with baby food. That it's just like such a like genius, like, but easy idea. So I thought, okay, we're both going to end up with baby food and have the exact same idea. And nope.
No, baby food was not on my list. But honestly, I could not taste the green bean apart from the sweet potato.
He actually guessed them opposite. I was like, what?
They actually tasted just about the same, and it all was nasty. So, it's kind of like this is nasty.
That bad. He made me taste them all.
Well, she
afterwards. He made me
I blindfolded her after I did her, and then I was like, no, you got to try this and see if you can tell the difference. But the thing is, she knew, she knew which one she had and which ones to kind of pick between.
It just wasn't as horrible as you were making it out to be. But he did me good. He did me right, okay? And now we have all of the things that he bought here at the house to have sweet little treats. He knows I have a huge sweet tooth.
Yeah, so I went all sweets, and I had like the ginger cookie and the Reese's, what was it? The Reese's Christmas tree cup type thing, and that's kind of what I did. The one that I thought was going to get her, that I was like, oh, this will kind of throw her off a little bit, was the eggnog. So I bought some eggnog that I'm not a big fan of eggnog. I know a lot of people are, and that's cool. But I just, my taste, I just haven't developed that. And I thought we tried in the past, and neither one of us were like, oh, yeah, let's always do this.
Yeah, I thought I remembered it being grosser. When he put it in my mouth, it just sounds weird. When I tasted it, it tasted like vanilla creamer is what I guessed, because it wasn't bad at all. So I was shocked that it was eggnog, because I'm pretty sure I had eggnog in the past, and it was really bad.
Well, we even tried to make eggnog one year. I got a recipe.
Maybe that's
and I was going to do our own homemade eggnog, so we bought all the ingredients, and, I'm stirring it over a stovetop.
Does it have egg?
I'm trying to remember. I don't. I don't remember, to be honest, because that was quite a few years back.
That was in the old house.
I mean, you would think it would because it's called eggnog, but maybe it's just because it's like thick like an egg. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so.
But it's never been my thing. I never returned back to it.
Thick like an egg. So yeah, anyway, but it wasn't bad. None of the stuff he gave me was bad. It was all good. But at the same time, I knew that you don't like that many sweets. So I was purposely trying to get like food substance for you, but I didn't want to get, like, I thought about getting a can of green beans, but you would have known immediately when I put a green bean in your mouth.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So I thought about getting all kinds of meats, but then I'm like, how different meats can I get that aren't like in the refrigerator? Because I was thinking jerky. So I mean, I really put a lot of thought into it, and
well, you did get, and what we did with this though is our intentions were to do this around the Thanksgiving time, but due to life events and stuff, we had to push it back. So now we're probably 2-3 weeks before Christmas, is after Thanksgiving, whenever we're able to do it. And so she had already bought hers. I had not bought mine yet. So she had told me she was going Thanksgiving theme. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. We'll just theme this out then. I'll do mine Christmas theme. So I kind of based all mine Christmas, and then I knew she did the Thanksgiving, so we'd catch the whole holiday thing. And that's kind of what we did. Because honestly, if you go into a grocery store, there could be a plethora of items that, and I love using that word, of items that you could choose from that could throw it off. So this is kind of one of those to where you can take it as is. So we talk about the adventure challenge and the ideas. And so whenever we do these, we do bring these to you just as fun things that you can go do with your family. So this is one that we did, and it was pretty awesome. It was pretty cool. It's out of the box thinking. We would have never have come up with this, to be able to blindfold your partner and then feed them. Like, she fed me like a baby, honestly, guys.
I did. He even got a little bit on his nose, and I had to get it off for him.
Let me wipe that from your nose. So
How else am I supposed to feed you when you feed somebody?
Well, mine was all like edible. Like, you had to take a bite out of most of them. So it's like, okay, take a bite out of this. And that's how I had done mine, and you had done yours more of a spoon-fed, motherly nature.
Because it was liquid mush. So
That all tasted the same.
Let me ask you on this idea of the blindfold, like, because I know it did take us a while to get this done, and there was life events that caused that to happen. But was part of that because you were not looking forward to it? Like, it did not. Did it excite you for this date, or did you think like, ugh?
No, for me, no. I thought it was out of the box and it could be fun. So mine was more of having to go out and find the items. Like, I don't know what to get.
That's the truth. Why this took so long, because I had my items weeks ago, and I started telling them, like, just pick stuff from the house. You don't have to get out. You don't have to do anything. Because normally I'm the one that grocery shops, so it's a little bit easier, like, for me to know or to add something in the cart, or grocery shop online, just to add in a few items. But I had went out and got mine purposely because I had to get out and get something, I think. But
yeah, I don't get out as much, especially with the whole pandemic and stuff. So for me, I had to go out and really hunt. But what made it easier, maybe this is a good thing for guys, if you're a guy listening to this, or if you're a wife trying to get your guy in on stuff like this, they're really going to like it because it is fun. But if you do it more specifically, it's a little easier to find stuff. So I knew when I went in, I was going holiday theme, so I went straight to the Christmas holiday aisle that they have. Like, I went to Target, And,
that's his favorite
and
place.
you go to Walmart, you go wherever, any grocery store you want. But I knew exactly where they do all the holiday food stuff, so I went straight there and was picking. I'm like, oh, I could do this, and so that made that a little easier doing it that way. Maybe you are more the adventurous, where you just step into the grocery store and you say, okay, you're going to this grocery store, I'm going to this one, we'll meet back, and you got your 5, I've got my 5, and we're going to do this. So you could do that. You could plan this around dinner. You could plan it just as a fun thing. You could do this with your family.
Yeah, do the whole family thing and blindfold one. And
you could give your kids like $5 each and say, okay, go get 5 items. They've got to be $1 or less, or and you got to take, of course, taxes and all that into account. But you get
taxes. That's very okay.
Well, because I'm picturing the kids going up with $5, saying, I got 5 items for $1 each, and get up there and they're at the checkout and they don't have They're
I
like,
guess
this is
true.
$5.39. And,
And
like,
starting this week, Dollar Tree is no longer dollar every item.
Oh, and that's another good thing is you can go to the dollar store.
You could just know that starting this week, it's no longer dollar items. I think it's just like added 25 cents. But I went to Dollar Tree this last week, and there's
inflation.
These two really cool signs, and I was like, "Wow, those are only $1." And she's like, "No, they're $5." And I was like, "What? Like, why are those signs $5?" Anyways, it has nothing to do with this episode. Just I don't want you to be caught off guard because the lady in front of me that was buying two signs because she thought they were $1 a piece ended up having to pay $10.
Ooh. So yeah, you don't want that to happen to you
or your children while you're shopping for these items.
Oh, yeah. So something to think about if you're doing this, but it could be really fun. And maybe it's even like, maybe y'all do like an ice cream taste testing to see if you can taste if you get the right flavors of ice cream, or you could do like a soda challenge, or, you could do whatever with that. So there are so many ideas that you can take and spin off of this to create for your family. Just to have something new, something different to do, to add to your repertoire of
what I'm thinking of?
Hanging out?
French fries from fast food places.
Oh, yeah. If you could do a French fry tasting challenge. See if they could guess
which place those fries came from.
Or a chicken nugget challenge.
A nugget challenge, that could be cool.
So you could go to different places, and then you could get an oven-baked chicken nugget and see if anyone can pick them out.
Yeah, I like that.
That's kind of a cool idea. So we're just coming up with all kinds of ideas right now with this. But it really was fun. That was a out of the box thing that we did. So yeah, that's.
And I was like being all like weird. Okay, I'll say we ended up doing this date in the middle of the day because we're at a period of our life where the kids are coming and going at all hours, like pretty much after like 5 type thing. So we decided to do a midday date when we knew like our youngest would be asleep because that's what she does during the day. And then the older ones were at work. And so then I was like, he grabbed the remotes. I was like, oh, because we did this in the living room, like around on the couch, like with our little table. And I was like, oh, are you putting the fireplace on the television? And he's like, no. But I can if you want it. Well, no, I want you to want it. Anyway,
that ain't gonna happen.
I felt like it just.
But I would do it for you, man.
It made the mood more because we had the fake fire. We had Christmas music going in the background.
She called Alexa and said, "Hey, play some." Well, I better not say it too loud because we have an Alexa in the room, so we don't want to call her to play anything right now.
We'll put a little pentatonic Christmas on.
We had some Christmas music
had the
going.
Christmas tree lit.
So we really themed this out, and it was fun. Then we did a whole time lapse and took pictures, and this was just fun for us because in this holiday challenge book, it has a place where you can put a picture of you actually doing this. So at the end of it, it becomes like this photo album.
Yeah, and you write down just a little paragraph on like how the date went and stuff. So
yeah, so you kind of open it up, and that's something y'all can always look back to and think about, remember, and laugh just as you would any other photo album. So it really is a cool idea. It's a great gift idea. This is something fun to give other people whenever you're really like, what do I get them? You walk into a store and it's just like there's so much stuff. What stuff do they want? But this is one of those gifts that does keep on giving because most of the books, I believe, have like 50 of these challenges. So that could last all year long. So you're giving a gift that is allowing them to become intentional with their loved ones or their friends.
Because there's a friends one, there's a couple one, there's a family one. Even right now, because it's Christmas time, they have a Christmas Advent one where you're scratching off and it's fun family things to do. I don't know if you had saw that.
No, I hadn't seen that one.
Then they have the new one.
Because they're always coming up with new things.
They are.
The newest one, right.
That we just did, and we did an episode in bed. Well, we weren't in bed when we did the episode, but the episode was called In Bed, right?
Right, yeah. It's called In Bed, and that is one of the newest Adventure Challenge books. That one's specifically for couples to help just heighten that intimacy between the two. So it's really cool, really fun.
Lots of options.
Yeah, if you're looking to really spice things up there and take it to another level.
I'm looking for. We got our book in, and we've scratched off our first date. Oh, it's probably not appropriate to tell during this episode, but I'm gonna tell it anyways. Okay, in the book, do we have time?
We have time, yes.
Okay, in the In Bed book, I'm just giving you a little plug for it, kind of. You have to scratch off, and there's this like you come up with a code word, and then maybe I shouldn't say this because it's too much information, but
earmuffs for little ones.
Yeah, if you have a little one, then maybe pause and put on some Christmas music and come back to this later. You got time for that? Okay, that's your warning. But there's a code word.
We'll keep it PG-13.
Yeah, I'm trying here.
Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
So you scratch, or you come up with this word. You don't scratch off. You come up with this word, and then when you text that word
to your partner,
then they're supposed to drop everything and
they're supposed to text back, and then the two of you, if they text back, then that means you stop what you're doing. Y'all come together.
Y'all come together. Okay, well, I confused the assignment, okay? And so I had left, and I had went to go tutor, so I was actually in the public library. And when I pulled up, I had texted him that word, because I was thinking it was like code word for like...
Later on.
Maybe later tonight, hey, wink, wink kind of thing. And so by the time he gets my message and he responds back, I'm like, sitting, because I was pulled up to the library when I had text that. So I'm in the library in this little like quiet room, and he responds back. And he says, you want me to drop everything and come to the library for this right now? And I laughed so hard I banged my head on the like booth that I'm in. Oh man, I voice texted him back just laughing, because it really lightened the mood.
And she's like, oh, that's what that means.
I forgot. So, and he had sent me like a funny gift too about the response of being in a library, and
so it's fun. That is a fun thing that you can do with your couple. So that's also another thing that if you want to get for each other, or maybe you want to get one for your spouse, and that's something y'all get to look forward to for the new year, and just it's really fun things, out of the box things, just like the other Adventure Challenge stuff. And they have it for everybody. They got it if you're solo, if you're just doing this by yourself and you're trying to find more adventure in life, they got a book for solo. So it's really cool. So check them out. This was just one of those dates that we did. We wanted to pass it along and maybe give you some ideas to where you can do this with your family, or as a date with you and your spouse, just to have some fun. Spice things up, but be intentional together.
Yeah.
So there it is. We love that. We will put the link in the show notes. All of our listeners get 10% off. A lot of times they'll run additional discounts, sometimes up to 35% off. So especially during the holidays. So you'll want to use that discount above ours, because ours is only 10%.
Use our link.
Yeah, use our link, because that does help us. But
then
it helps
use
you.
the promo code that they have going on. Like, you can just usually go over to like their Instagram page or their website, adventurechallenge.com, and they usually have it at the top, whatever their promo. It might be buy one get one half off, or a percentage off, or whatever. So
check them out if that's something of interest to you. You are looking for just an out of the box idea for gift giving, or even for you and your family. Check them out. It's really cool. Just really cool ideas. Really good stuff. The guy, they are faith based as well. I mean, the products are, of course, not necessarily faith-based, but he is right. Yeah, he is a Christian and everything. So that to us, once we found that out, was like, oh, that's cool. Okay, cool. So we at least know, he's got some morals and stuff with all the products. It's not going to be like crazy stuff out there. But yeah, no, it's all fun. It's safe, but it's different. So it's really cool. So check it out. Awesome product. We love it.
Blind taste test. Go do that with your family.
Do it with your family. Spice stuff. Get creative.
Spouse.
Get creative. Maybe do the ice cream thing. I kind of want to do that now, so that sounds really fun.
Okay, I'm gonna make that happen.
Yeah, so we might do like a thing. So there
Kids
it is.
would like it.
There
All
it is.
right.
So awesome. Blind tasting. There it is. Have fun. Be intentional with your family. We love you guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Hey, thanks for joining us for another fun Friday here at Enjoying Your Blended Family. All the links we talked about today are in the show notes. And if you enjoyed listening, be sure to subscribe, because it's free and it lets you know when we have another episode out for you to listen to.
And if you don't mind helping us out so we can start reaching more people, leave us a rating and review. You never know when we'll give you a shout out. Until next time, have fun being intentional, and remember to enjoy the moment.